Hey, fourth grade. Today we have a lesson that's got a lot of bang for your buck, meaning that it makes your writing seem way more professional and polished and a really easy thing to try. That thing is transitions. So in writing, we use transitions for different reasons depending on what kind of writing we're doing. We talked about in narrative writing how we used it to show the passing of time, to show scene changes, and do different things like that. In opinion writing, and argument writing and persuasive writing, we use transitions for different reasons. We use them to link paragraphs together, to organize evidence, and to show how things are connected to each other. Because remember, we're making an argument here. So the goal is to make it flow. You want your opinion to make sense. You want your argument to flow well. So in order to do that, you link things together. I like to think about a transition as giving somebody a hand while they're stepping over a puddle or stepping across a gap. You want to connect it, make it smooth for them. So again, in my draft, it was pretty flimsy, and I really like looking at my draft versus where I've gone to my revisions because I can see how much it's changed. So I can see that I started with my introduction, which I've since revised, and then I jump right into each paragraph by saying my evidence. Hiking's good for you physically and mentally. Getting outside for a walk can help you appreciate the beauty around you. Spending time in nature is good for your relationships. But I didn't lead into it. And when I say something more, I want to connect it. So attached to the assignment, you're going to see a big bundle of different possible transitional phrases. But in my piece that I revised, I just highlighted them in purple for you so you could see. So after my introduction, I might say something like, first and foremost, hiking is good for you physically and mentally. First and foremost is what you say if you mean to say, I'm leading off with the most urgent thing. This is the thing that I want to say. So I said a little bit and then I wanted to add. So I added by saying, and spelled incorrectly, additionally. Additionally is something you do when you want to say more stuff. Another thing you can do is you can say something like, for example. When I was talking about the beautiful places near us, and I said they're close and easy to get to, and then I want to tell you a little story, I might say, to illustrate, one day in the fall, I was feeling particularly grumpy. So you know that what I'm trying to do here is explain to you why this makes me appreciate nature. So these are some things that you can try to do in your writing today, is to use these transitions to link your paragraphs together, organize your evidence, and show how things are connected to each other. But I'm also going to give you one more little way to add transitions, and this is really important. And this, again, is going to set your writing apart from what you did in third grade to what you're doing now in fourth grade, is in each support paragraph, it should really stand up like a little mini essay. You should start with a topic sentence, then you support it, and then you end by hooking it back up to what you're trying to prove. So I put it in a slightly darker purple here, and I'll show you how I did this. So in my first piece of evidence, I talked about how it was good for you physically and mentally, but now I want to connect the next piece of evidence back to this. So I say there are other ways that being outdoors is good for you, right? So I'm saying that I'm continuing this thought and I'm building on it. Then I have my topic sentence. I support it with all kinds of evidence. And here's where I want to hook it back to my point. As you can see, this is a really positive thing. All right. And then I did the same thing in the paragraph below it. I talked about how it's good for you. I talked about how you appreciate the natural beauty. And then I'm connecting this last piece of evidence. Finally, that's a transition. The good that comes from getting outside can spread to others. I talk about my topic sentence. It's good for your relationships. I give my evidence. And now I'm going to hook it back to my main point. This was as important for my family as it was for me. And remember, what I'm trying to tell you all is that getting outside is important for your body and your mind. So you have really two different tasks to do today, but they're connected to each other. The first one is to look at places where you can use transitions. You want to have them at the beginning of paragraph to link it together. You want to use it, for example, to illustrate, as you can see, to organize your evidence, and you want to show how things are connected to each other. Then you're going to make sure that each support paragraph, those body paragraphs, start with a topic sentence, expand on that idea, and then end by hooking it back up to what you're trying to prove. So you can watch this video again, you can see my example, and you can also see a couple lists of transitional phrases.